Hi everybody, Bentley here. In this video I want to talk to you about something called mind mapping. And this is something that some of you I know have sort of wondered about. I've talked about it at other times. And it's something that has had a huge impact on my own web projects, and I couldn't really live without it now. I tend to be a fairly scatterbrained kind of guy. I have all kinds of stuff going on in my head, and I tend to be one of those people that has all kinds of pieces of paper all over the place with lists and notes and everything else, and it's just really, really tough to kind of keep everything nicely organized. And that's what mind mapping has really helped me with. So no point beating around the bush here. I just want to tell you specifically the particular program that I use. It's known as FreeMind, and as the name implies, it is 100% free, although I don't think that's why they gave it that name. But anyway, so you search for FreeMind. The very first thing that comes up is going to take you to this sort of wiki page, and it's a little bit tricky here just because it's sort of hard to tell which one you want to be downloading here. They have a brand new it's funny, I've even downloaded it myself, and here I am trying to figure out where on earth. Oh, okay. Okay, so you just click the download, and it takes you to the page where you would download it. Okay, so for me, it's Windows. I don't think it really matters. All-inclusive version, maybe that might be the one you want to grab if you're in Windows, and then the Mac version like that. You download it, install it, just like a typical program that you piece of software that you would download, and then you just sort of get that up and running. But I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. Let's talk about the actual program itself. Now this is what it looks like. Now I've squished everything down. I'm in a 640 by 480 recording screen here. I want this to be as clear as possible, so I've kind of squished everything really small down. And so you're not going to be able to, it's going to be pretty limited in terms of what you can see. But this is essentially what you start with. It's called, my new mind map, essentially. You call it whatever you want. So, let's say, for example, what I find these mind maps are great for is any kind of project that you're trying to plan out. So let's say we've got a new website. You can just call it new website, and I'll show you some of the functionality. Obviously, I can't get into every little nitty-gritty detail, but there really isn't all that much that I even use in FreeMind. One thing I do right off the bat is go into Format, and then instead of Fork, which is the default, I choose Bubble. So that means that we're going to create bubbles whenever we add a new node thing. So in order to add these little bubbles, what you do, you can right click. I right click. You can't see all these options, unfortunately, so I'm not going to do that. But what you can do up here as well is there's an insert option up here, and insert new child node, and there you go. So let's say, for example, okay, what I always like when I'm starting new projects is this sort of what, why, how, who kind of approach. So what is this website about? Why did I create it? And you press return. You can see that it's sort of shadowed there. That's shadowed now, so that's shadowed. Press return. It gives you a new node. Why, return, how, who, and you can just really let your mind go, and that's what I love about it. It doesn't matter what you put. You can always delete stuff. You can move stuff around. Just off the top of my head, okay, one thing I always like to think about are blog post topics. You start to get sort of brainstorming for topics of your articles. So what is this website about? Website is blah blah blah, and it's this, and that. You can just keep adding points after point after point after point, and you can just keep expanding. Okay, so that's a sort of subheader now. Now I can add another one. Just press insert every time you want a new tab, and you can just go and go and go and go until you have this big deep structure and just all this great organized information about whatever particular project that you are working on. And I don't know if it's probably not the greatest example just because it's sort of off the top of my head, but something else, I mean, just off the top of my head, something like monetization. That's always a topic to think about. How am I going to generate some revenue for this website? So just list out ideas. So maybe I'll try product creation. I'm going to create my own products, or maybe Google AdSense. Nothing set in stone. You just kind of get the ideas out there, and then you have it all, and you can sort of decide what you're going to do from there. All right, so that's just sort of, again, a quick and dirty thing. You can collapse everything if you just click on them. So that collapses everything that's underneath this particular category here. And what I've found that this is really, really, really helpful for are these products that I've created. So if I'm doing a series, a video series, for example, video 1 could be here, video 2, video 3, video 4, 5, and then you sort of get into, okay, what am I going to make each video about, and then the sort of subcategories and everything else. And just to show you, just so you can actually see a working example, I'm going to go to this mind map, and this is a mind map for my Easy Vermicomposting audio course. So what you can see here is everything is compacted, nothing is expanded. What you'll see in a minute is what this looks like when it's expanded out. It's pretty crazy. So this, I come up with, okay, what am I going to put on my sales page? Let's come up with what's the offer, what are people going to get? Just some random notes. A lot of times I'll just have thoughts that come to my mind and I need to put them somewhere, so I'll just throw them in there. But we're at 75% here. Let's try to go to user defined. Oh, all right, 25%. Okay, you can see how tiny that is. All right. Okay, even at 25%, so this was overview. This is probably overview. So each main point in the overview then has a number of subpoints. And basically with this particular course, what I did was I wrote everything out. I could have turned this into a book based on just how extensive my writing was for it. And in fact, any of you who are watching this and you are Easy Vermicomposting members, this has ended up being how I'm working on the transcripts. I'm not actually creating transcripts from the audio files. I am literally converting each one of these expanded lessons into a full written transcript lesson. Okay, just because, and that's the real advantage of actually writing everything out the way I did, because it was pretty detailed. You can't really see, but I wrote basically for full sentences for each little thing, and then it was fantastic, because then what I did was I just went through everything. With an audio course especially, I literally just went stage by stage by stage, sort of reading it in a conversational manner and recording the audio file as I was doing it, and that's what became the audio component of the Easy Vermicomposting course. Now, if you're writing a book or any kind of a report, an essay, anything where you need this structured, like chapters, sort of outlines, all these sorts of things, I can't recommend mind mapping enough. It's so valuable, and you'll absolutely love it. if you've never done it before, especially if you tend to be somebody who needs help with the organizational side of things. It's such a fantastic tool. So that's just basically a little bit of an overview. You know, obviously I can't get into all the ins and outs, but hopefully found this interesting. And you know, if you ever have any questions about mind mapping, don't hesitate to let me know.